we got to talk about your career. You rose up. Well, one, you didn't want initially didn't want to go into journalism. You wanted to run as far away from it as possible, and yet here we are. You rose up through the ranks of local news, um, and covered tons of crazy stories. But nothing, I don't think, probably compares to your covering the Trump campaign in 2015 in 2016, does it?
How could anything compare to that? I mean, that was I mean, honestly, how could anything compare to it? Yeah, I chased tornadoes, I covered crane collapses, I covered plane crashes, I covered all manner of tragedy, breaking news, everything falling apart around me. Um, but nothing could prepare me for, other than maybe my childhood, for the Trump campaign. And, you know, it was interesting because, like, I got assigned to it not because I was a politics reporter or not because anybody thought that the campaign would last, but because I happened to be in town. Donald Trump was making noises, and they weren't going to put somebody on it that they thought would be here, you know, for the next 510 days. I lived in London at the
Right,
time,
that's right.
spent
You
the
were living
summer
in
here.
London then.
I lived in London. I mean, I literally I was here for a few days. I left milk in my refrigerator. I left clothes in the laundry. And I came back, and after that, I only spent the night in my bed in London, I think, like, 8 more times for a year. And then by the time I, was done with the Trump campaign, I had moved out of my flat in London. My life had totally changed. But yeah, I mean, I get asked a lot about, you know, why did you stick with the campaign? Donald Trump would go after you. There were death threats against you. He singled you out in a way he didn't single anybody else out. Why didn't you just say, "Hey, listen, I'm going to go back to London and live the life I was living. Go back to the French boyfriend I had and the, you know, the European lifestyle where I had wine at lunch." I mean, nobody would begrudge you that if you did it. But
Right.
I found myself riveted. And that's not to say that I thought it was an amazing, great campaign, but it was the country changing in front of our eyes. And I wanted to try to understand what was going on. And I mean, I listen, I've still been trying to understand what's going on 6 years later. It's 7 years later.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how this country has changed. I mean, I when I was here in 2015, when I got assigned Trump, that was when it was the weekend or the week that the day that gay marriage, or same-sex marriage was upheld in the Supreme Court. It was a
Mhm.
celebratory day, and I thought to myself, "Wow, this country has come so far. Love really does win." And then yesterday, I find out that in the Texas GOP, the new platform is that being gay is an abnormal lifestyle choice. I Going from there to there in 7 short years is it's weird to me. What's going
Yeah.
on?